You're just a young, thinner John Favreau. I like that that's the first thing that your audience gets to hear.
And
I'm a
The first thing they
what?
hear is you're a younger, thinner John
I'm,
Favreau.
I'm a what?
A younger, thinner John Favreau.
I don't have curly hair.
His hair isn't curly. Crazy.
Joe,
Okay.
Joe, you know what I look like. You've
I
seen me
know
on
what you look
Instagram.
like. Oh shit, that is a Wookiee. Okay.
Guys?
I do know what you look like.
we're live.
We're live.
We are live.
Hello world.
Hello.
Hello. So,
Every morning when I wake up,
Yes.
I know it's not going to get any better till I go back to sleep again.
The point of waking up
So,
is to fall
now-
back asleep.
we have seen 5 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett and
Oh
2
god.
other episodes of Star Wars: The Anthology. So
No,
now
we saw five episodes of Book of Fett, 1 episode of the Mandalorian, and 1 episode of the Star Wars show.
Yeah, that sounds about
No,
right.
that's an actual thing. The Star Wars show was an actual thing. It was with Andy Gutierrez. Andy Gutierrez.
Was it that crappy CG one where Vader was like, you should like totes join the dark
that was
side.
Clone Wars. That was the Star Wars show was like a new
Star
update
Wars.
thing. It's kind of like what This Week in Star Wars used to be, but it was with a different host. It wasn't with Kristen Baver. It was pretty cool. But I miss This Week in Star Wars. But oh shit. So yeah, we gotta talk about.
You missed This Week in Star Wars?
No, it's that news update with Kristen Baver, like the girl. With the curly hair.
from the YouTube channel. I know.
I know. You know the show
Okay.
where those Gina spammers spam everything. We gotta. All right, let's actually talk about Boba Fett now.
Well, first, there is a burning question I need to ask. Joe, have you seen my video on episode 5 of Book of Boba Fett?
Yes,
Okay,
not.
good.
it was cool. It was pretty
You
neat.
still need to tell me about that.
No, I don't.
But
need
you
to
don't
tell
need
you
to-
about that.
But you don't
We're
need
not
to
talking
live.
about- 'cause we're
No,
not
exactly.
talking
But I
about-
mean later.
Yeah,
Just
we're not
later.
talking about that today. No, God
Well,
damn it.
it
Okay,
is- It is
I'm
involved
playing
in
Battlefront 2 right now, so
this.
I
It actually is involved.
Okay. Let's actually. Okay, we're just gonna go
Because-
around the room. Okay. Can we just give our scores? I'm
No.
curious to see what your
No.
scores are.
Not now.
Scores?
Not now. Okay, we'll do that
Yeah.
later.
And again, Joe, my channel.
I know. I knew you were gonna say that because I was
tells
like,
you
I
to
don't
do it
know
on
their
your
number
channel.
scores.
We've done this before.
I'm gonna usurp
But
you.
yes.
You know what's gonna happen. It's only a matter of
Okay,
time.
1 sec. Too bad.
You can't
Just
unmute
try
me.
usurping. Just try.
Did you mute him?
usurping me now?
You can't
just mute-
stop. Stop muting me.
Okay. Let's not be childish here, okay?
Well, why not?
No, that was actually
Okay.
funny though. That was fun.
I'm gonna try peace. Oh, did you just
Where'd you
kick
go?
Joe?
No.
Where'd you go?
I think you just kicked him midstream. What?
What is going
I put
on?
him in the back room. I put him in the back room. I didn't kick him.
Was
It's
kind of
like
mean. It's
that
kind of
moment in
mean.
Suicide Squad. You bastard.
Hey, he kept on violating my mute.
Yeah, it's okay. But I actually do want to talk about the show now. So, Net, you said
No,
what
I
you
know.
want to say.
Okay, so first thing, I will need to watch the first episode again before I say this for sure or not. I think
Yeah.
that this episode is better than the first episode was, but if it was, it's not by much. And keep in mind,
it's like I think that
I
You-
gave
you know,
the
you-
first
keep talking.
episode. I gave the first episode a 2 out of 10. So
I gave it like a 5.
yeah, after watching the first episode, I decided to keep watching because I thought it was going to be funny to watch the dumpster fire. It was the second episode is where I actually thought things might actually be decent. First episode, it was bad. This episode may or may not be better than the first episode. I'm gonna need to rewatch to be sure.
It's like it's a difference between would I rather be bored for an hour or would I rather be infuriated for an hour? Because the finale was just frustrating. The episode 1 was just boring. It was like a weird. Like, what would I I guess I would rather be bored than infuriated because at least it's like I don't know.
I was infuriated for both of them.
Like, would I rather watch Attack of the Clones or Rise of Skywalker? Would I rather be bored or just pissed off all the time?
Attack of the Clones is rated number 2 on my list, Joe.
How are you bored with Attack of the
I
Clones?
would watch,
Because
I
it's
would watch
so,
Attack
like,
of the Clones
it's
instead of
dull.
Rise of Skywalker.
But I would rather
That
Attack of the Clones
film
over Rise
is
of Skywalker.
literally one thing leading into another.
It's just a disaster. It's just so boring. But I would rather it over Rise of Skywalker because it didn't make me mad. Like
The one benefit I'll give Rise of Skywalker is that because it's such a quick paced movie, it's over before you know it.
Yeah, I guess that's another one. It's kind of like Venom 2, where like it's over before you know it.
It's here and then it's gone.
Yeah, I just really I need to talk about this because you guys know me that like I do my best to be the positive person. Like when
Yeah,
we're
you
talking
usually are.
about-
That's why it surprised me when you said this episode was ass. I'm like,
it is. I do
okay.
my best to be positive. I do my best to always make sure I have a positive outlook on things. Like
Yeah,
people say
yeah.
that I'm a Disney shill. I'm really not. I'm really not like the biggest like defender of Disney. It just happens that I just talk only about the stuff that makes me happy because I don't like harping on the negative. But
Yeah, I hear you.
This is probably my least favorite thing Disney has put out for Star
Oh, dear
Wars
Lord.
since like Rise of Skywalker. This may be the next Rise of Skywalker for me. It honestly pisses me off on so many levels, and it is a lot of good and a lot of great concepts, but it's undercut by so much bad. Like I think I would say it's worse than Rise because at least with Rise I had like Rey and Kylo Ren. They were like the moments that made me realize, okay, at least this movie isn't complete garbage. Like I can at least say yes, this movie is in fact a movie. Like it has 2 good characters that I really like. And that I would say are some of my favorite characters. But with this show, every single character is mistreated in some way, except Chrysanthemum. I actually do like Chrysanthemum.
Yeah, Chrysanthemum probably had the only like really interesting sort of arc in that series,
He
and
did.
he's
He's the only character that had
Arc.
Yeah, he
if you can again,
decided
if
not
you
to
can
like the
call it
circles.
an arc, if you can call it an arc, Chrysanthemum was the most consistent character in this entire show.
Well, in the I could tell
I-
him like
I
some
have a
moments
question.
he goes from like a killer to like a
can
little
you
teddy
make-
bear.
Can you make an arc from 2 points? That makes a line.
Well,
Uh,
I mean,
he was angry king for the Hutts, then he was angry for Boba Fett.
no, he
points,
got
there
a
are
fruit
3
at the end,
points.
and the mod and Scat.
Okay,
wanted-
again, that's kind of a straight line. Mind you, the majority of his arc, he's still pretty angry. All he does is
Oh.
switch his employers.
Okay, to be fair, Wookiees are
That
very
is an
cool
arc.
characters. Like Chewbacca doesn't really have that many cool character traits aside from being cool and like a big cuddle monster. Like the only time he actually in the movies at least is given character is like Solo, of all things. So like I feel like Solo, a Star Wars story. So like
I know.
Chrysanthemum, I like that he's basically evil Chewbacca and he just wants like he only is in it for the money and he finds a family with Boba Fett. I thought that was cool. I hated Chrysanthemum in episode 2 and 3 because he was such an asshole. But at the end, my mom hated.
He's still an
Chrysanthemum.
asshole.
Yeah, but like
He's
at
just
the
a
end,
friendly
we were like
asshole.
rooting for him. We didn't want him to die. Like, I remember my mom would be watching episode
My
8.
brother and I was making jokes that he was getting raped by the Trandos.
Oh, bro.
I
No,
I,
like,
I have comments about Chrysanthemum, but I'm going to keep quiet about it until everybody's had a chance to just give overall thoughts on this.
Yeah.
My overall thought on this episode is it's a disappointing finale to a series that was just meh, you know?
And it also
Like-
kind of made Mando worse. And I'll get into that later because I have a lot of shit to say about Grogu.
No. I know
As
exactly
as
what
the CEO
I
of
know
Grogu,
exactly what you're getting at. Believe me,
No,
I know.
I have a lot to say other than just the elephant in the room. Like, I have so much shit to say about Din and Grogu that it's not funny. Like, I'm actually annoyed about Din
Oh,
and
by the
Grogu.
way, Grogu in this episode was fucking hilarious, and I'll tell you why.
Yes.
It was his walk.
Yes. His little I don't
The
like this
walk
episode,
was
but I will say
fucking
Grogu was
hilarious.
adorable. His little walk,
Okay.
his little mannerisms with Din. There was good in this episode. It just was not a lot of good. It was just a lot of like.
I'm sorry, Joe, but he
Okay.
he walks like he's got a stick in between his legs.
But it's so cute.
Okay,
He's
also-
a baby. It's a cute little
Yeah.
waddle.
Joe, I have to say,
Yeah?
I know that you just said that that there's so much wrong with Din and Grogu that it's not funny. The fact that you are upset with it is going to make it funny all by itself.
Yes. And I'm not even like being cartoonish. I'm actually annoyed. And my mom
No,
is like annoyed
no, I
with me
know that
about
that
Din and
that's
Grogu. 'Cause she's
actually
like, Joey,
why. That's actually why it makes it funny. Because
I'm like the
you
CEO
are one of
of
the bigger
Mando
fans of
simping.
this. Yes.
Yeah. It managed to ruin 2 shows. Its own show, and then it made Mando worse. And even Palpamemes, who loves defending Disney Star Wars because he's a huge Disney Star Wars fan. He said he's making. I messaged him and I said, "What did you think?" And he said, "I need to make a video about Din and Grogu because I'm annoyed." Even he's annoyed
Okay.
about it.
I didn't bring him up, but since you did, I am sorry. I don't typically call people shills. Palpamemes comes the closest to being a Disney shill who I do not think is being paid, but he comes the closest to
he
it.
just likes Rise of Skywalker. Just let him like it.
No, I know, but
I don't
I've
like
seen,
Rise of
but
Skywalker, but I accept his opinion.
But
he has a reason to like it.
attacks. But the problem is that he attacks people who don't like it.
When does
he
he
makes
attack
fun
people?
of people who
He's
don't.
one of Joe. He's one of
Nope.
the people that
Have
irks
you
me
watched?
because of what he said.
Have you watched his videos? He is actively
watched
pissed
his-
off at people who don't like it. There's a reason I have
When, though?
actually commented on his stuff.
As
I'd have
someone
to
who
go back
hates
and
Rise
see,
of
but
Skywalker, I could safely say that he has not attacked me or my opinion. I have
Not
not seen
you.
it.
Okay,
No,
well
not-
let me
No,
Joe, you know how I
not
hate
so not so quiet.
Okay.
When I say that, I am not saying that he attacks specific people. I'm saying that his videos attack the people who think it's bad. He doesn't name people, and I will
I
actually
think
go out
it's
on a
bad,
limb and say
though.
that. Yeah, and he is also aiming at you. He's aiming at anyone who
But
thinks
I've
it's
never.
bad.
But we're literally friends. I wouldn't say
That's
friends,
fine.
but like.
And Joe, I have gone after people who think the stuff is good, which does include you, and we're friends. The
I know.
thing
I
is
just
that
don't.
his
well, then in that case,
videos.
you're no better than him by that logic,
That's fine.
right?
No,
Okay.
that's fine.
At least you're owning up to it. I'll give you that. Okay.
Yeah, but actually, no, not quite. Because the thing is that I actually make a concerted effort not to make the fans one of the things that I go after. I go after the material. His videos actually call out the people who think Rey is bad. He calls out the communities that disagree with him. That's the thing.
Only if you're
I
being
don't
rude
call-
about it. He said on many occasions, if you don't like Rey for actual reasons, that's fine. He said he doesn't
For
like people.
actual reasons. Isn't that nice? But
Yeah,
the
if you
thing is
have
that
an actual criticism
who
with
did-
Rey, like saying she's
who
poorly
determines
written.
who determines No, Joe. Who determines what is actual reasons? That's the problem.
Okay, well, an
Who
actual
determines
reason
that?
is I think she's poorly written
Help
and her
means
character
you,
arc isn't fully
me.
developed. And then an
Oh,
example of
yay.
poor criticism is she's woke propaganda and she's an excuse for the SJWs, blah 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 blah. That's not actual criticism, and those are the people that he
and
quote
Joe,
unquote targets.
no, no, Joe. Here's the thing. What if someone were to say that that her character is woke propaganda, and then goes into detail explaining why, and they actually
Well,
have points?
What are your points though? Just to say, oh, it's stupid SJW crap. Like that's not really a reason. Even if you have an hour explaining it, it's not really a good claim.
If that is all you say, then that's all you. Then that's less than a minute. If you have actual reasons, whether you think that they're good or not, there are reasons to think that. And
I mean, yeah, but they're not good reasons. That was a joke. You are allowed to think the thing.
But Joe, that's the point. That is your opinion. You are the one deciding if it's an actual reason or not. This is my entire point. And you do not get to say that person's opinion is worthless. That is my problem.
I just need to know. I just need to see like an actual clip of him doing it, like because I want to make sure it's not like him saying, "Oh."
I think Nick could find one given time.
If like you actually send me a clip of him saying, "If you hate Ray, you're a bad person," or "If you hate Ray, you're sexist." If you actually send me that, I will say, "Okay, fine, maybe he isn't the nicest person." But like, I have yet to see that from him, and I have talked to him about it.
Joe, he still can be the nicest person. Keep in mind, I've actually made friends with AT chat.
He did do that.
So, just because I have problems with how someone presented their arguments on fandom, they can still be very nice. That is not a problem for me. That's just that I have differences of opinion on how we should approach things. Help means I've talked to him. He's a nice guy. Don't take this as me saying he's not a nice guy.
I think I used the wrong word. I meant to say like he's respectful. He's a respectful person, and I know you don't think that because obviously you just tore him a new one. But I think that
he's not always respectful. That would be a better way to put that. I need to see an actual
example of it though, because like I don't want to take your word for it and say what I've seen
that's fine.
Nothing but civil.
And I'll need to look at it later, but I actually interacted on Twitter about this, so it shouldn't be that hard for me to find the video that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because send it to me, and I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I will say maybe Palpatine's isn't. We are getting very sidetracked, though. We haven't talked about Boba.
Yeah, but all right, I do have
that. But I'm finishing here. The reason why I was talking about this is that I came very close to making a reaction video to the video I'm thinking about. I decided not to because I don't like the idea of going after people. But I came very close to actually taking his video and going, no, go away, stop. That's why I have this opinion, because I came close to actually reacting to him. Now we can continue.
Okay.
Right. I'm sorry. We'll talk about this later because this is a topic we need to shelve. Because I do want to come back to it.
No, Joe. If Natsu has something to say, that's fine. I wasn't shutting him down.
Okay, you guys know I hate. You guys know how much I hate the two extremes. The two individuals, or not the two individuals, but the two extremes. The Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars, and the EU was never canon. Those are the two extremes that I absolutely despise. Palpamemes does fall into one of those categories. Guess which one?
The EU is never canon. Here's the thing. I actually have been contemplating that thing about the EU never being canon because that stupid Star Wars Lucasverse guy who says both. He says that Disney Star Wars is like an atrocity, and then he said, Joey, the Legends isn't Lucas's canon. He doesn't like the comics, and he never read them.
It's not George Lucas's canon for sure. That actually, whoever told you he doesn't like the comics is lying to you.
He said it was a quote, like George said, "I've never read the comics, and I've never read."
He's never read the novels, not the comics. Whoever said that is lying to you. I can give you 3 examples. 3 examples off the top of my head as to why George actually read the comics. Example number 1, the Clone Wars comic based off of Filoni's series. George actually does read the comics because he saw one based on the Slaves of Republic arc that came out later. He says, I wanted to see an animated adaptation, and Filoni did that. That's example number 1. Example number 2, the fate of Quinlan Vos. Quinlan was originally scheduled to die in the Star Wars Republic Commando. George asked that they change that death to have him come out alive. And guess what? He came out alive. Example number 3, he knows about the Zahn series because Timothy Zahn talked about how he's like, I can tell George might have actually gotten a little inspiration about blocking Force lightning because I think he's pretty sure he reads the comics. I actually found a quote from Airlock Open Policy from Timothy Zahn saying that George read the comics because George is a visual guy.
Yeah.
Now,
I gotta find that quote just to make sure he was saying it right, But
yeah, no, he probably meant the novels. If he meant the novels, fine. If he's saying the comics, I've got to call bullshit on that because of the examples I just noted, which is clear as day. Even if George didn't read every single comic, he read a lot of comics.
Yeah, it's just like it's weird to me because like when people say the EU was never canon, does that mean that there was never a concrete timeline in the sense that Lucas said it's not my canon? Is that what people mean when they say the EU was never canon? Because I don't think so. That argument.
The belief is this, and I'll tell you what it is. All right. When people say, the EU was an alternate universe, they mean it in the sense of like, it's built off the foundations of Lucas's movies. Whether himself actually can canon. That can be debate that can be run because again there are examples that he cared about the EU and there are also that he stopped caring. There are examples that TCW again there's a recent example that he stopped caring.
Yeah.
My point being is that the EU was canon to the company. It was canon to the fans before the Disney purchase. So it was definitively by the company standards.
Yeah, I just don't get that. I don't get the argument because it doesn't make sense both ways. Because Lucas says it's not my canon and it's not my continuity. So is that what is that what it's technically canon to the company, but is it canon to him? It's so confusing. And I don't like the argument either way because it's such a stupid subject.
Also, I mean...
here's the thing. If the EU was never canon, going by the argument that George Lucas didn't accept as canon, what that actually means is that Disney Star Wars is also not canon. Because
the only thing that matters to George Lucas are the 6 films.
Yeah.
Right.
What do people mean though when they say that the EU was never canon?
The people who say that have not thought things through. They are talking about no, really, that's where it is. But
I know
because because when they say that the EU is never canon, they talk about they inevitably talk about how George Lucas didn't like Mara Jade. They talk about George Lucas didn't think this.
You're allowed to not like a character. It's fine.
No, but
I don't understand that argument.
No, Joe. Here's the thing. The thing that people go to there is that, but George Lucas owned Lucasfilm. Now the thing here is that if George Lucas actually cared enough to say that it wasn't canon, he had the power to make Lucasfilm, the owner of the property, state that it wasn't canon. He never did that.
A lot of his people too. Yeah, sorry. Well, Leland Chi, Sue Rastoni. I'm just sorry.
Right. So whether it was canon in his mind or not, he had the levers of power to make that official canon, or not official canon, however you want to put it. But he never used those levers of power. So whether it was canon in his head or not does not matter. It was canon at the time. And to say otherwise means that you don't believe that the people that determine canon is the company, which was bought by Disney.
Probably clip this. I should probably clip this at some point and post it because I don't know.
Ned should. He should definitely clip this.
I need to because I need to know people's perspective hearing this. Not like, I need to know people's bullshitty excuse when talking about this. I legitimately want to know what people mean when they say the EU was never canon. Because it was a canon. It was the continuity.
It would be Joe, it would be easier for me to clip this if you let me actually make the logic chain instead of interrupting me in the middle of it, dipshit.
Sorry.
Because I didn't finish the logic chain.
He didn't finish his point, so go ahead, Nat.
Okay, for me to clip this, I'm going to start again from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Then do it.
So, when somebody says that the EU was never canon, and they point out that George Lucas says that he didn't like Mara Jade, and he didn't want Luke marrying someone. Okay, that's fine. George Lucas owned Lucasfilm. George Lucas had every possibility to use levers of power to make that the case, yet he never did. So, Lucasfilm considered the EU canon under the tiers of canon system, but still canon. Now, if you still deny this, then that means that when Lucasfilm traded hands to Disney, that means that when Disney made The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker, unless you can convince me that George Lucas agreed that was aligned with his headcanon,
which
then
it wasn't.
Agreed. Then that means that the current Star Wars is also not canon. So people who claim that the EU was never canon need to be very careful when they say that, because they're also stating that the current Star Wars is also not canon.
Yeah, that makes sense. We should probably clip this and put it on Twitter.
I am.
Yeah. May I also add, and I know you've probably seen
why
that.
I started from the beginning on that, so that we could actually clip it instead of.
Might I also add, and it was recent a recent line that people pulled up. It's from him being at the Force Awakens is like, he's like, the story was originally about the father, the kids, and the grandkids, which is also covered in the novels. Again, you can take George's different quotes. I know, but my point is, again, you get my point though. Like, you can take any of George's quotes, anywhere, anytime, from as far back as the 80s or the 70s, and make some sort of straw man point based off of that one quote. Because George has contradicted himself from time to time. And that's not me criticizing the man. That is me. Well,
did you just criticize George Lucas? What the fuck, man? You can't do that.
It is me criticizing George Lucas, but that's because I don't think George Lucas is God.
But he is.
Actually, but he created Star Wars. He is Star Wars. They know.
He's the grandpa.
Actually, guys, I'm going to put this out to everybody. Anybody watching this, also you guys, send me every George Lucas quote you have. At one point, I was concerned just making a Twitter thread just to show all of them. Now that I have a channel, I'm thinking that I might just make a video that just shows each and every George Lucas quote that I can find.
I gotta look up. That Matt. I'm sorry. I gotta look up that Matt Wilkins video where he finds an article saying that the TCW film was not in the same continuity as his 6 films. There's actually a quote from like an old article when the film was coming out.
Because honestly, you could cherry pick all of the things that George Lucas says and come up with almost any conclusion you want. And I just like to have, without making any agenda on it, just here's everything he's said.
And again, I'm probably picking at the scab again, but I'm just gonna say this. Pablo Hidalgo's book, and I know you're not convinced he actually wrote it, Net. His book.
I believe you wrote it. It's just mind-boggling.
Well, his book, The Essential Reader's Companion, says on the back of it, the definitive book of Star Wars fiction.
Yeah,
because it chronicles all the novels and some of the comics and information and stuff like that from the expanded universe. It literally said it says the definitive word of Star Wars fiction. It's basically like the Bible for Star Wars.
Great.
Pablo fucking Hidalgo.
Can we talk about how he's not fired?
Well,
he's not fired.
He's fine. Yeah, he's not fired, but I didn't think he was. It just would have been nice.
It would have been nice.
You hope he's fired.
Well, I'm not someone who wants someone to lose their job, but Pablo clearly doesn't care anymore.
Joe, other people want Kathleen Kennedy to lose her job. I don't fucking care about her. I find that just funny. Yeah, but Pablo Hidalgo and the rest of the story group, those motherfuckers can just leave Lucasfilm, and I will be happy. That is, if Kathleen Kennedy is gone, my opinion is Pablo Hidalgo is still there.
Yep.
Yeah. If Pablo Hidalgo leaves, I'll be like, cool. Even if Kathleen Kennedy,
there's a chance to fix things now.
Okay. I'm violently neutral when it comes to Pablo. I don't love him, but I don't hate him. I'm not like whenever you talk shit about him, I'm just like, okay, I don't really have
it's
an
not
opinion
Pablo
on him.
Hidalgo. It's not personally Pablo Hidalgo, it's the story group. It's the fact that the story group that was put in place to actually maintain continuity for Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, they need a new story group. They need a new, not a new staff job, just a new execution of their timeline.
So you're saying they should completely lay off Leland Shee, Pablo Hidalgo, and Matt Martin?
No, that's not what I said. You know what they should?
They're the story group.
They should actually give us an explanation as to what happened to Yoda's lightsaber, because in canon right now there are 4 different explanations as to what happened to it.
Gee, this might almost be what I'm talking about.
No, I want to say this for a minute. There are 4 explanations. In a certain point of view, in the book, A Certain Point of View in 2017.
But then it would create an echo effect.
Yoda said, I lost my lightsaber on Coruscant to Palpatine. I left it there and I lost it to him. In the Vader comic series, in Volume 1, Masameda burns it. Those make sense. Now, we have in The Mandalorian, Luke has his lightsaber. So I guess it wasn't burned. But then you find out. But then you find what?
Joe.
What? What?
Do you understand that you are making my point? You're making my point for me.
I know. I'm agreeing. No, I know. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. But I'm saying it's like, let's what else we got? We got in the visual dictionary for Yoda's lightsaber, they say that he had it on Dagobah with him, which doesn't make any sense because
since it was destroyed
on Coruscant. So we have 3 different continuities for Yoda's lightsaber. It was left on Dagobah when he died. Luke took it to give to Grogu, and it was left at Coruscant when he lost his duel with Sidious and Masameda burned it. There are 3 different. I guess 2, because the one on Dagobah where he left it, I guess Luke could have just taken it. So 2. I'll say that. 2 completely different continuities. And I remember Alex from Star Wars Explained said that he would prefer stories with good dramatic moments told over continuity, which doesn't make any sense. Because he said that he understands that Yoda's lightsaber was burned, but he said that it coming back and breaking continuity kind of made sense because it was a dramatic purpose. And I simply don't agree with that. And I am paraphrasing because it may not be exactly what he said, because people are like, Joe, you're misinterpreting Alex's words. I'm paraphrasing. He said that it was fine because he would prefer a dramatic story beat over keeping the continuity. And I just don't agree with that, because I think that it's important to keep the continuity. Because just rewriting it and saying, man, it would be really cool if we have Yoda's lightsaber in Book of Boba Fett. Just because.
Joe, are you becoming based?
Yeah, I love Alex. I really like Alex. He follows me on Twitter, and he's really cool. Him and Molly are amazing. They're the definition of a power couple. I don't.
But you disagree with him.
I don't know. I just think it's a very it encourages just not a not good continuity. Like the fact that Alex is basically the dad of, Alex is basically the dad of Star Wars Twitter. Like not Star Wars, Star Wars in general. Like everyone.
Keep in mind, Joe, what you're talking about is what I've been trying to push as far as Disney, Star Wars, as far as Star Wars Twitter in general. Yeah. With the whole how EU fans could help Disney fans and how Disney could help EU fans.
That's
EU fans could help.
Both sides hate each other, and it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, I know, but they just keep this in mind. Anybody who's actually listening to this,
don't be a dick.
EU fans, no. EU fans help fans. Force the writers to give them a better continuity, retcon work, and then vice versa. Disney fans can help EU fans get their continuity back. You guys could work this out easily, and everyone. But no, you're still at each other's throats, and everybody fucking loses.
Not so.
Everyone is
to
a
work
bit
it
of a
out.
Now.
Not so. To work it out, they have to get rid of the story group.
Yep.
Not get rid of them. Just do a massive rework. You don't even need to fire Pablo. Just
just make them jobs.
Okay, Joe. Tell me what Pablo's job is. Step back. Tell me what his job is.
He needs to keep the continuity, which he's not doing a good job at right now.
He's not doing the job at all.
For the last 10 years. For the last 10 years.
Yeah, this is not good.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the same guy that wrote the continuity book I talked about.
The only things that I think have actually.
Why do you keep? Why do you keep your job after fucking up 10 years straight?
Yeah, and don't do the thing where you let the directors do what they want and then do damage control afterwards. Like when saying, Exegol's the home. No, let me finish. Exegol's the homeworld of the Sith, but we're gonna retcon that. But then we'll fix it later. No, you need to do that right now. Tell me how Exegol is the homeworld of the Sith when Korriban is right there. You need to do not let JJ do it now and just fix it later. You need to do it now. It's a problem, right?
So Joe, do you know who okayed the TLJ Holdo maneuver, the hyperspace ramp?
I actually think the Holdo maneuver is fine. I'm
no, it's not.
Okay.
No.
The Holdo,
No.
That actually
No, but the thing is that Pablo Hidalgo specifically told Ryan Johnson proactively that it was fine.
But it is fine.
That's the thing.
I don't want to talk about the Holdo maneuver because that's going to get us all mad at each other.
You don't want to.
Okay. Let's keep it calm. Joe doesn't think.
There's a difference.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down. All right. Joe doesn't think that the Holdo maneuver contradicts. No. Let's say hypothetically, for the sake of the argument, Ned is right. Again, hypothetically, for the sake of the argument he's making, Ned is right. He's basically saying that people like Pablo are approving the poor decisions of what can and can't be done. That's basically the point he's trying to make.
Yeah, that I agree with. because obviously I was ranting about Yoda's lightsaber earlier. I'm just saying the whole maneuver specifically, I think works.
Well, okay, and without actually saying whether you think it's good or not, my point actually was a little bit separate. It's that Pablo Hidalgo actually actively was conferring with the director and made a choice that whether you agree with me or not on this, there is a large amount of people that think that it really does break lore. And Pablo Hidalgo said, no, don't worry. It's completely fine.
Ryan, this won't break lore.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this is the same man.
And that's actually what I was trying to avoid saying. Not so. My point was that okay, you can have one point or another. You disagree with me. There's a lot of people who disagree with you. There's a lot of fans who disagree with me. But Pablo Hidalgo decided to say that no, this doesn't break lore at all. Go ahead and do it, which is one of the things that caused a rift. And this is the person in charge of the story group. And then you add to that all the other things, like the things you were just talking about. And why is this person in charge of maintaining continuity of Star Wars?
I don't want Pablo to get fired, though. That's the thing. I feel like just saying "get him fired" is just.
I don't fired. I just want him to actually do his job.
Yeah, don't fire. My thing is, this person's not doing a good job. I want him fired. I would rather he improve. I want him to improve as a worker at Lucasfilm. I don't want him to get fired because I think
basically Matt and Leland need to do their job.
Yeah, I don't want because I don't want anyone to lose their job. Even I don't care how rich they are. I don't want them to lose their job. I would just like him. I would just like them to do the job better.
Yeah,
I would accept that. The thing is that I don't believe that it's going to happen. Is the problem? But if they were to do it, then I would go fine, cool, yay. It's just that I just don't believe it's going to happen because I have 10 years to tell me that they haven't yet. So why should I expect it now?
Yeah, I get Net's point. The past 10 years, you've had an opportunity fix, and retcon and work to not contradict things, and you've done nothing. You've left the contradictions intact. You've left the contradictions in the comics between the shows. You've left the contradictions between the shows and the films. Done pretty much nothing, and the things that you have retconned don't make any sense. Like, for example, the two being a weaker version of the dyad in the Force. To me, that still makes zero sense. I feel
like for me there's because I also do like the dyad in Rule of Two. I feel like there's a difference between a retcon and like a continuation that doesn't like directly contradict something said before. I feel like I'm okay with that more so than just saying this thing happened when we have proof that it straight up did not happen. Because like there's a difference between.
Keep in mind, the difference being is the dyad is a very special, very well connected Force bond, whereas the Rule of Two is the self-destruct cycle of the Sith. It is the master and the apprentice recruiting another apprentice to kill the master, and therefore the first apprentice becomes.
It was a failed attempt at a Force dyad, so that's why in my opinion, it made sense because it was a failed attempt. It failed, therefore, it didn't
It's
work.
two different philosophies, though. One of it is literally the concept of seeking power. The other one is a bond between two people.
Yeah, I thought what they wanted to do was, at least in Bane's eyes, he wanted to create a bond with the master and apprentice to make them survive, but instead it caused the apprentice and the master to distrust each other, and they wanted to kill each other. That's how I viewed it anyway.
Yeah, but to me, that's a very weak retcon rather than the actual. Because keep in mind the way the philosophy of the Sith is that know for a fact what afterlife awaits them. So their goal is to live forever now. Or at least pass on the philosophy of trying to find a way to live forever. The way of the Jedi is spiritual enlightenment, detachment from material, control of one's emotions, so one isn't an emotional wreck or quick to anger or hate or fear or anything like that. And that's to spiritual enlightenment in the next life. That right there is the difference. It's all with the Sith. The bond, there's no bond between them and the apprentice like there is in the Force. The whole concept of the master and the apprentice among the Sith is literally one holds the power, the other craves it.
Okay, I see why you think that way. I still disagree, just because obviously that's the way it happened. I don't think
that's fine.
There are any conflicting moves to the point where I think, okay, there's no way that never happened. I'm just like, okay, this thing happened, and I think that if they expand upon it, I think it will work. But there's a difference between that and just saying Yoda's lightsaber was destroyed and just saying Yoda's lightsaber is fine. Because obviously,
well, I can easily on the lightsaber thing. That's actually really easy to retcon.
Yeah, but
it's a minor nitpick, but it's really easy to retcon. Yoda's original lightsaber could be destroyed, and the one Luke has now is one Yoda rebuilt in case anybody attacked him on Dagobah.
Yeah, I guess, but it felt like that wasn't their intention to do that. It felt like Dave put Yoda's lightsaber in, and then Pablo panicked, and he's like, "Shit, we didn't, and we Yoda's lightsaber was burned. Okay, he had more than one." That's what it felt.
Yes.
I buy that explanation because obviously Yoda's 900 years old, and Anakin went through like 3 different lightsabers in like 10 years. Like that makes sense. I'm just saying that doesn't sound like that was their original plan. If that was his plan,
no. Dave,
I have a phrase. This is us writing the story for them, or Pablo writing the story for them after the fact. We should not have to write the story for the people who are being paid to write the story.
We should not be making excuses for them. They needed to get there. The only continuations I think worked were Cobb Vanth and Chrysanthemum, because they were book characters that perfectly jumped on screen, and there were no contradictions whatsoever with Cobb Vanth. That's why I love Cobb Vanth and Chrysanthemum, because I think they work so well in live action. And I will be making a video one day about why I love Cobb Vanth and Chrysanthemum. Those 2 characters mean so much to me because
I'm sure.
it made me think, okay, maybe the story group isn't as clueless as I thought. After Exegol and the Spice Runner and Yoda's lightsaber, I had hope in the story group because Cobb Vanth has done so well. So that's why I'm hesitant to say that Pablo is bad at it, because he has proven on some occasions to be good at his job. Some occasions, and I don't want to say I want him gone, because I do think he has the potential to be very good. I don't want him to just get shunted. I know you don't like him, but I just realized we probably should talk about Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we got way off track.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and actually, since we're still at the beginning of talking about Book of Boba Fett, and it looks like Cody won't be joining us. I think I'm actually going. One sec, CP. I'm going to send Brian the link, because it would be interesting to see what he has to say
Brian
about
sort
it
of kind of wanted to join
Who?
the stream.
Yeah,
I was hoping to see too.
Who joined?
It's more that what we were fully off topic.
Brian, Rom Coda.
Oh, okay, Rom. Because I have a lot to say about this finale, and I need to get it all out of me. But,
just give me a second.
My view of the finale was that it was balls to the wall insane, and I looked at it the same way I looked at Big Trouble in Little China and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where it was just ridiculous, fun, stupid, goofy, over the top shit.
Yeah, no, that's
And
not what
there
I
we go.
thought. If that's what it was, I would have loved it, but that's not what they did. Instead, they just decided to make a 1 hour action scene with no character work and completely butchered a ton of emotional moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to, like, for example, Boba riding the Rancor. That is really cool in concept, and in the back of my head, I wanted to say, this is awesome, and this action scene is great, and the CG is amazing. But part of me is thinking, we completely skipped the development, and we didn't see Boba wanting to ride the Rancor. Like you said,
Not just the development. Let me bring in the logic of this. Why bring in the Rancor when you have two perfectly good ships?
yeah,
You have an N1 Starfighter and the Slave 1.
Yeah, I guess.
And what about the Rancor trainer guy? Like
Danny Trejo didn't come back.
Yeah,
Oh, he's just chilling at the palace.
Yeah, but I wasn't a fan of that. I would have liked him to come in with like a spear or something.
That would have
been cool. That's another missed opportunity to have him do some action.
And they still haven't given him a name.
I know. Because Boba said, "What are we gonna name you?" But he never named the Rancor.
We'll just name him Saber or something. And
Saber or Blade. Ooh, they could call him Vibro.
No, I like Mariel. I like Mariel. I think that's cool.
Okay,
still, it's like really like I sort of gonna didn't give out my thoughts on the show entirely. I think. I mean,
it's weird because it's Boba's like, I want to learn to ride this one, and all of it's off screen. Like, really, you're not going to show this important. It's like, I didn't care that Bane was like burning the Rancor because we never attached to the Rancor. That would have been like clenching. I would have been like clenching my fist if I saw him burning. I would have been like, no, don't kill the Rancor. I love the Rancor, but we never
Joe,
with the Rancor.
Joe, it would have been akin to when Din first wrote in season 1 of Mando. Remember, it had him go through that little development of trying to write it.
Yeah, but I cared about the blurgs because we get to develop the blurgs. I like the blurgs.
Yeah, again, you could have easily had a similar scene with Boba Fett and the Rancor.
5 minutes is all we needed. We needed 5 minutes of Boba just a goofy 5 minutes of Boba taming the Rancor. That's all we needed in episode 4. Like
just something fun.
There were 3 campfire scenes in episode 4 of Fennec and Boba talking. 3. We could have cut one of those out in the flashbacks to replace with Boba having a major character moment. Why did we need 3 moments of Boba and Fennec talking about the same shit about how being with the Tuskens made you
he kind of said the same thing in 2 of those camps.
Joe, may I point out that we had 2 full episodes that didn't matter.
Cut out the scene of Fennec's ball going around and just having that live, and just cut completely out the thing of them waiting for the ball to come back. And we just have had it come in live. Like, we're
here's the thing. Something I was thinking about.
Matter.
Here's something I was thinking about. Okay, so the previous episode had Luke and Ahsoka and Cad and Cobb, like all these stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I get what they were trying. They were trying to have a pilot episode of a different show in Book of Boba Fett, kind of like how one of the episodes was the Jedi episode in season DeLorean was technically a pilot for the Ahsoka show, right?
Yeah, but that had Din as the focus.
Yeah,
they should have done this experiment. They should have done this experiment in the next season of The Mandalorian.
They could have just released it as a mini movie. I would have been fine with that.
And there's also a reason why I never accused. I called Mandalorian the Cameo-lorian, but I never accused any of the episodes in it of being an episode of a different show, because Din was
Yeah.
always there.
Yep.
That's part of
And
what was
the
different
focus is
about
always
Book of
on
Boba
Din.
Fett.
Even in the Ahsoka
and the
episode, Din is the
it,
focus.
and the story of Din. And whereas
Yeah.
in Book of Boba Fett, we actually left the story of Book of Boba Fett. Not
Yeah,
not
I
just
still like the
left
story.
Boba
I
Fett.
still like what they
We-
did, but it doesn't belong.
Yep.
Yeah, and that hamstrung Book of Boba Fett. It hamstrung this episode because
Yeah,
there were 2 episodes where, whether you like them or not, I don't care. They didn't belong here. And when I say that they didn't belong here, I say that because it effectively made this a 5-episode show, whereas this episode deserved to have a 3-episode arc, not 1 episode
Yeah.
where, oh shit, we now need to do this.
yeah. There was a moment in the
Yeah.
finale where I got super invested. It was with Joe and that's the name of the girl from Ospelgo. Like she was the black one, and Drash, the biker. The moment where the 2 of them like unite and they're like, "We're gonna do this. We're gonna
Oh
go."
god, I
up
hated
on
that
the
scene.
ceiling, and we're gonna. I loved it. Where they're like, "We're gonna go on this. We're gonna go and flank them, and we're gonna do this together." And it was like a very great. And I was like, "This is so cool." And then, right when they're about to do it, Boba just interrupts with the Rancor, and they just don't do anything. And it really ticked me off.
But now imagine if in those previous 2 episodes we actually saw more with Joe and Drash, and they actually got to have character development. They actually got to interact more outside of fighting, and then that built up to them doing something here. Imagine that.
Joe actually did. Joe actually was in Mando. She was in The Mandalorian. She was in...
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
because of the Marshall episode.
Yeah, she was the one
yeah,
who gave
but-
Cobb Vanth. I like that they brought her back. It wasn't just a new character. I thought that was cool.
But Joe, my point is, imagine if they actually took the time to merge the stuff and actually have her interact with Book of Boba Fett and that stuff.
Also,
And-
Cobb
and this
Vanth,
is-
how he was treated was horrible. We'll talk about that.
This is why this is why I've been raging about episode 5 and 6, because I know that people are like, oh no, you're just upset that Boba wasn't in it. No, I'm upset that the story was hamstrung by the need to show cameo, by the need to show stuff from elsewhere, and it made it gutted this story. That's what happened.
Yeah,
The
story was derailed not once, but twice. It was derailed the first time with the extra episode of The Mandalorian, and the second time with the first pilot episode of the Star Wars show.
When I watch this with Liv, because she wants to watch it, we're not even watching the first 3 episodes of the first 4 episodes. We're just skipping right to the end. Because I honestly think it works better skipping the first 4. Because at least with that, if you just pretend that that's the first time seeing the Rancor, it doesn't feel like a poor, like, you skipped the arc. Because at least then it feels like, okay, Boba just got a Rancor. Because I feel like I actually copped out, because it was... What pisses me off about the Rancor thing is that they promise you, Boba says, I want to ride the Rancor. They say, you're going to see Boba learn to ride the Rancor, but you don't see it. At least if you skip the first 4 episodes, it doesn't feel like you were lied to. And it's just Boba just has a Rancor now. That's okay.
No,
I kind of agree with that idea that Boba should have trained the Rancor.
Thank you.
That's actually what they set up. They actually had and the guy who was the trainer.
Like, we could have seen more of Machete in Star Wars. You know.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Another one says already. I'm here.
What?
I wonder if those well, if they do, I swear.
Boba this show just annoys me.
No, wait.
And then we have Cobb Vanth, who had the most lame execution. Okay, so for some reason they make his death ambiguous. They make his death ambiguous. So he gets shot in the shoulder. and you're meant to think, okay, is he dead? And then the Weekly comes in and he says he shot him in cold blood, and then Din's like, I'm sorry. So you're meant to think, okay, Cobb Vanth is dead. And I'm thinking, that was such a lame send-off for Cobb Vanth. I love Cobb Vanth, and that was just such a lame send-off for him. But then you find out in the post-credits scene that he was fine. So it was it was such a lame fake-out death. Because I didn't think he was dead, and they say, no, he's dead. And I'm like, okay, fine,
Joe.
it's lame.
Joe.
It was such a waste of time.
Joe.
Yeah?
No one's ever really gone.
Oh my god. That's why I think Cad Bane is still alive. Because I do not have faith in
his
him
light
killing
was
Cad
blinking.
Bane.
I saw that theory video. Is that even though his like kind of heart monitor light went out, there was the implication still on. So nobody major or important died by the end of this.
They don't like.
No one actually
I've
did
noticed that they
die.
don't like to. They like to. They don't like to take risks, so they make a way that they could come back if they ever choose to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody stays dead in Star Wars ever. Nobody's ever really gone.
It's
Like it's like
Unless
they
your
can't let
body
go of
is actually
something.
burned to the ground, you're dead.
It's actually it's the old trope, but they're actually just really grabbing it and running with it. That if you don't see the body, then assume that they're alive. But that's typically just supposed to be for if you beat the villain, and okay, the villain and it went off the edge of the cliff. Don't assume he's dead. It's not supposed to be for every fucking character.
I also kind of think
Yeah.
that it was a little bit rushed that they just sort of could have put Cad Bane in there, like when he like could have been. Maybe what they should have done is that they should have made this a little bit much more longer, actually.
If you
or
wanted to use Cad Bane
Yes.
in the future, don't kill him. Just have him escape. That's all they need to do.
yeah,
Just have him say,
I
I'll
still
be
feel
back, we'll
like-
meet again. And then
I
just
still
leave.
feel like Quill and IG-11 are going to come back from the dead.
No,
Uh,
Quill
I
and
have a question to
IG-11
ask.
is dead.
I know for not so CT and Joe, all of you have watched Clone Wars. Brian, you've watched
Yes.
Clone Wars as well, right?
Brian.
Brian?
Have you also watched the Clone Wars?
Hello.
He's being quiet.
I
What do we
think
do?
he did. Oh, he left. Okay, he's gone.
Eh.
He did.
Okay.
But yes, the
okay.
three of us have watched the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my perspective as a person who has not watched Clone Wars, and frankly has no intention of watching the Clone Wars.
Oh.
Watching Mandalorian and watching watching Book of Boba Fett, Cad Bane comes on screen. Everybody else
He
squeezed.
said he got
going,
disconnected.
how great!
He said he got disconnected.
I will reconnect him.
Sorry.
There he goes.
Hello.
No problem.
He's
But
back.
Can we talk about how?
But
Chris
frankly,
Hansen got, like,
I
shot?
see everybody squee about okay. Well, we can talk about that in a moment. And seeing everybody squee about Cad Bane or Bo-Katan or all these other characters that came from the Clone Wars without them bothering to actually give any real introduction, I just look at it going, well, great. You're handing me homework.
Well, Bo-Katan
That's not
works
how to do something like
as
this.
a new character. Bo-Katan worked as a new character. You can pretend that she never existed before.
Mostly.
She worked.
Yeah.
Ahsoka
And
works,
actually,
I think, to a degree.
I'll agree to a degree, but they really should give a little bit more of an introduction. And for Cad Bane, a lot more.
Yeah, they did. They also, I like that even for people who watch
And-
Clone Wars, we have no connection to Boba and Bane's relationship. Because Bane says,
Oh, really?
we've known each other for so
Oh, yeah.
long. But Even in
Joe,
Clone
I
Wars.
actually thought that I actually thought that was something I was missing. I figured that
No,
I figured that there was
no.
something going on.
Boba and
No,
Bane
there's
never
an
met in Clone
unfinished
Wars.
Clone Wars animation. There's
That
an
does not
unfinished
count.
Clone Wars
Yeah,
animation.
there-
From
that does not count.
keep in mind this is the only thing we have. All right, there's an unfinished Clone Wars animation that, as far as I'm aware, may or may not even been to this point.
No, it is canon. It is canon.
Anyway,
But
and
it doesn't-
basically Boba and Cad duel, and that's how Boba gets the dent in his helmet, and Cad Bane gets the plate in his head. My point is, like, we didn't even actually get an arc where the two interacted and talked.
You know what would have
Yeah.
been cool? Seeing that remade in live
That's
action.
even worse.
Yep, yep.
Or
I really
that
thought
or that
I
mean, have that in the flashbacks.
I really thought that was something that was coming from Clone Wars that I wasn't seeing. That's even worse than what I thought was happening.
Or maybe the series should have just started with Boba getting out of the Sarlacc pit. Then we sort of kind of explore his journey there, and then to come to the present day.
For a show that prides itself on using so many flashbacks, they don't include the one that we need. The one where Bane and Boba's relationship is established.
Yeah.
Where Boba
Maybe Filoni's still asking Kennedy if he arc finish down the line or put into Bad Batch or.
They should have put it in live action.
And-
It should have been in live action. They didn't.
Yeah.
Like Boba Fett.
This is what it
Luke
looked
had
like.
Bane's brains out.
Padawan said Star
this is
Wars
what-
theory said Cad Bane and was Boba's mentor, which again makes sense. Put the context unfinished Clone Wars arc into perspective.
You can't
And
use
that's
a
what I
deleted
thought that I
scene
missed.
to establish
That-
it was a deleted Clone Wars arc they never used. And there's a deleted scene where Bane and Boba Fett duel, and Bane presumably dies. And then obviously we found out
He shows up in Bad Batch with a plate in his head.
Yeah, we thought that Bane has been dead up until 2021.
Well, what's so insulting about this is, again, it was never animated. That's fine. Can you at least give us like a novel or comic that covers it? Nope.
Yeah.
You get one unfinished animation
Bring
scene.
up Daniel Logan. I know he would love to do that because I asked him and he said yes, and he wanted to do that. And I thought he was actually hinting.
That would have been fine if they did that. I mean,
That would be
I would
cool.
have loved to see Daniel Logan back. That would have been cool.
Yeah, a
And
flashback
I thought
of
when he said
younger
that he would love to
Boba.
do it, I thought he was like
Younger
nudging me.
Boba.
I said, would you love to play younger Boba in Clone Wars or like Bad Batch, like when dueling Cad Bane? And Daniel Logan said, I would love to see that. Look for
Or
the
maybe
future.
even live
And I thought
action,
maybe
like
he
they
did come
could,
back. But
like,
no,
or maybe
they
in
didn't.
live action with the. I mean, I don't know how it will work, but
Well, you got the Bane animatronic. You got Boba armor. Just put Daniel Logan in the Boba armor and have him duel Bane. That's all you gotta do.
Maybe we'll get they'll reuse that Clone Wars arc in a Clone Wars style movie called like the Book of Boba Fett Origin, something like that.
No, just Bane better come back, because I'm not saying that because I want more Cad Bane and we need more mindless fan service, because Bane was not done justice and we need to see him more in order to do
Yeah,
Dark
he
Justice.
really was.
In season 2, bring him back as the main villain and show us that flashback so we can care.
You don't even need to show him as the main villain. He could be like one of the people that joins Boba's team.
He definitely needs to be more
Mhm.
in more than one episode. Also,
Or
I
a
love
fucking
how
wild
lame the reveal-
card or something.
I love how lame the reveal of the Tuskens dying is, because the Pikes just tell Bane, "Oh, they were killed, but he thought they were killed by Nikto speedbikers, but it was actually us the whole time." And it was such a lame reveal. It was so low energy. But then I think, would have been cooler if Bane, the first time we know, is when Bane tells Boba. Imagine how cool it would have been, like, if Bane's when you just cut out that entire conversation, and the first time we find out that the Pikes killed the Tuskens was when Bane tells Boba. How impactful would that have been when he said, like, your Tuskens, and then Boba looks up and he said that when you thought they were killed by Niktos, and then you flash back to the Pikes killing you.
And then
That
he
would've been
sends
such a
Fennec
great
to get
reveal.
revenge.
Oh, that didn't bother me. The reason is because he sent Fennec to begin with. That's the whole reason. It didn't really make sense to me at all that she would wait for him to show up to execute them.
I just hate that Fennec was written out of the finale just to have her do something that could have been
Just
done.
all the mob bosses.
It could have been done afterwards. Like Boba, Din, and Fennec could have gone together. Like I don't understand why they had to write Fennec out of the finale just to have her do something that didn't even need to happen tangentially. It could have just happened.
Honestly, I would have preferred that if Boba Fett showed up. It's okay. You all have a line to do, and the next thing you know, it's outside the building, and then you hear scream.
I would have been fine with that. I like how brutal it is.
I had no problem with her doing it because
I was fine with
what
her
we keep
being
on
the
hearing
person to
about
do
her
it.
is that she is the master assassin. Finally, she actually does it.
Yeah, I'm okay with her being the one to do it. I just don't like how it was done. I felt like it should have been after the battle, and Fennec should have been in the battle.
Maybe
Yeah.
they
Why
should
would
have
they-
had her
No,
kill them,
no,
and then he
no.
finds out that
No.
actually it was them
But-
that killed the Tuskens, and then he's like, "Oh shit! Now I can't kill them myself."
Nah, I'm okay with Fennec because
Se-
Boba got his revenge with Bane, and Fennec got to kill the Pike.
Se-
I like that. I just don't like.
Sending
that-
your assassin to cut off the head, which is what happened, makes sense.
No, but it should have been done afterwards because I felt like writing Fennec.
No,
No,
in the
yeah,
finale
I do
No.
agree with Joe. Is that if with Joe in the sense that Boba should have been there. I think
No,
it should
Boba
have been.
didn't need to be there. I'm okay with the scene out of context. I don't like the placement of the scene because it doesn't.
I
It
know.
happens
that-
after the battle.
It should have happened after
Well-
the battle. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm okay with the scene
No,
on its
actually,
own.
I agree that I have a problem with the placement, but not the same way that you do. I think that it should have happened mid-battle, and then that would have caused problems with reinforcements, and so in confusion among their troops, because that's the point of sending her to cut off the head. It shouldn't have
Yeah, that
happened
Brian's out
after.
again.
It should have happened during.
But that would have been weird because it's like, okay, the main bad guys are dead, so why are they fighting? It would have been weird. That also would have been a weird placement.
No, that's actually the point. That would have actually been the thing to break the back of them.
Yeah, but like
Because that's
including
why
making the main bad guys die in the middle of the battle doesn't work as far as falling
That's
action
what
goes because they die.
That's what
because
assassins do.
I feel like it should have been the last thing to happen because they're acting like they lost. They're like, okay, we need to leave, but this is happening like tangentially. Like it doesn't make. I don't know. I just don't. It's more of a personal preference for me. I just wish Fennec was in the battle more. I don't know. It doesn't. I like the scene on its own.
Fennec
It's a little
should have
short-
killed Bane the first time they saw him.
By the way, I hate that Boba killed Cad Bane because Boba just didn't prove himself. Because Bane says, "Oh, you're nothing but a cold-blooded killer," and then Boba just kills him.
Cold-blooded killer.
And then Boba tries to kill him
I would have
immediately
liked
after.
it maybe if Boba doesn't kill him and he says, "I have nothing to prove to you," and he just tosses the stick aside and he walks away, and Bane tries to like shoot him, and then maybe have like Fennec shoot him because that would have been because Fennec's an assassin. I would have been fine with Fennec killing Bane.
Either Fennec or Din would have shot him. That would have been the point. But
Well,
yeah,
Din
no,
was with Grogu, so.
if anything, he should have stabbed the guy next to Bane's head. Says, "I have nothing to prove to you. You're just in type thing."
Oh,
that-
that would have
that-
been cool. Damn it, Nathan.
Yeah.
You put that in my head now.
Again, yeah, that would have been
Now I'm upset.
one thing I would have done. One thing I would have done, and I almost would have done it Godfather style, the way he took out his enemies. Boba say, "You're forgiven as long as you all leave Tatooine." And on their way to like the things like for example, when the Pike leader gets to his ship, it blows up. And then the rest of the leaders get like gun thrown off a cliff or something like that. Like basically Godfather style mobster takeout. I like hit squad level. I would have loved if they had done that.
Yeah, I'm okay with Boba having a dark side streak. I just don't like that it was just hypocritical as far as like Bane saying, "Oh, you're a killer. You're a cold-blooded killer. You worked with the Empire." And then he just kills Bane and he just doesn't learn his lesson. I don't like that.
I do
don't
like.
that.
I liked how
It's like Batman from Batman v Superman. He doesn't learn his lesson by the end of the movie.
I did like how he beat Cad Bane with the gaffy after he was
Yes.
telling him that, oh, you're weak because he was being, holding up with the Tuscans.
Yes,
And
that I
the
agree with. I
Tuscans.
do like that he beats him with the gaffy stick. That was cool. I just don't like that he kills him.
Yeah.
Because I thought that for a minute Boba was going to spare him, and I was like, this is so cool that Boba
Join
doesn't
me.
need to prove himself as a warrior by death. But no, they just actually do have him just murder.
Imagine if he had him join him.
That would have been cool if he offered his hand to him, and he
Yeah.
said, I have nothing to prove to you. And then
And
Bane
then
tries
Boss
to kill him.
comes and he's like, oh.
That would have been cool, man. That would have been cool, but I guess not. That's why I want Bane to be alive, because then maybe they can say that. Like,
Again, I still is because of the weird chest monitor thing.
Yeah, he'll probably be alive, and I really hope he is, because all of this stuff that we mentioned can happen in season 2. It can happen if they do it right, and
Can I mention how responsible it was to send a baby with a mech droid in an
No, it was R2.
when there could be pirates and stuff like that?
It's R2D2. R2 has done so much shit. I think Luke trusts R2. R2 has the highest kill count in Star Wars.
It's still a bit irresponsible.
I think Luke trusts R2 enough to leave him with the kid. I think Luke.
Honestly,
Honestly,
I'm fine with that.
I think that R2. I believe it's totally in character for Luke to give the baby to R2 because R2 is the most responsible.
Probably.
He's been
Speaking of
since
Joe.
the first movie.
Speaking of Joe, tell us how other stuff is undermined by this series.
Okay, are you guys just gonna let me vent about Din and Grogu now?
Well,
Sure.
before that,
Do it.
before that,
What was before that?
I did want to talk about how Chrysanthemum got shot like 15 times.
Well,
and
Chris Anthony was the
walked
only
it
thing in the
off.
finale that worked for me. I really liked him.
Okay, Brian, I think I have something that's going to dovetail with what you're saying here. Let's compare
Just
this
says
to when the mods and the Gamorreans had to deal with Chrysanthemum attacking Ian Boba Fett. Let's compare how durable Chrysanthemum was in this episode as opposed to how durable he was when he tried to kill Boba Fett in the
Well, he was durable in Boba Fett. He wasn't defeated. He was just thrown in the pit. He was basically put in time out. So he got stabbed in the hand, and his hand was fine. Like he wasn't. It wasn't like he was like complete. It wasn't like he was like got the shit beaten out of him. He was like moderately like he was basically being like he was basically biding his time. But then Fennec just got the jump on him. It wasn't like he got the shit beaten out of him. That makes sense.
I still question
I think
how
he
did
came close to being the shit out of them with the Grenorians.
Oh,
Yeah,
I forgot about the
still-
Gamorreans. I feel bad for them.
they nerfed the Gamorreans, but now I actually overran Brian. So go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
Well, that's pretty much all I was gonna say. And then,
Yeah.
I was wondering if like Chrysanthemum's like a racist or something because he seems to always hate the Trandoshans. Yeah.
Well, Trandoshans and
Wookiees
Wookiees have had a very dark past.
Yeah.
That's
actually
they should have had
Wookiees-
Bosk. They should have had him against Bosk because
Bosk should have been around.
That's another thing they need for season 2. Have Bosk come in. Why not have Bosk join Boba Fett, and then maybe Chrysanthemum and Bosk are like butting heads the whole time and hate each other, but then they learn to grow a bond and become like brothers. That would actually be a good character arc.
Yep.
But
By
no,
the way, has
no
anybody
Bosk.
noticed that Boba Fett has not had to spend any of his money?
Well, he
It's like-
spent
it's like-
500
it's like
credits on the
Battlefront 2.
water.
Well,
He spent money on
but
water.
my point is that my point is that he was going to pay Mando after it was pointed out to him by Fennec that money can buy muscle, and he was like, "Okay, I'll buy the services. I'll buy the services of Mando." Mando says, "Nope, it's on the house." Then he's going to go, then he's willing to spend money for the mercenaries at Freetown. And then those mercenaries then the people at Freetown go, nope, we just want the spice stuff.
I hate this job.
So Boba Fett still has his treasury. He has not used a cent.
He bought the water for
Okay,
the
sorry,
mods.
he bought the water. Oh my God!
I think
right.
he is still paying Chrysanthemum, though. I think he's still
I
paying
interpreted
Chrysanthemum.
it as Boba wanted to be paid for her services for the for Cobb Vamp. I thought he wanted to be paid because the way he said it, he was like, "I wanted to be paid." I don't know. The way he reacted, I thought it was.
All of the money went towards decorating
Mando
the Rancor's enclosure.
No, when Mando came back, he specifically told Boba Fett that they didn't want money; they just wanted the spice trade to end.
Okay.
That is what he said.
Boba's such a good guy.
Not good enough
Which
to
means
spare
that
Cad Bane. Yeah, I have a lot of problems with this episode. Then can we? So Joe and Drash don't work. The Rancor doesn't work. Fennec didn't work. Boba didn't work. Cad Bane didn't work. So Chrysanthemum worked, and I think Joe and Drash almost worked.
The mod girl sucked. I didn't like her acting at all.
No, I liked Drash. She was good. Up until the line "we fight" was kind of lame, but it was okay. It was. I love that Joe and Drash were basically gay for each other. I thought that was adorable, but it was like they don't do anything.
Just because they gave each other a couple looks doesn't mean they're gay. All right, just chill.
Nazo, okay, this is our chance. After Poe and Finn, this is our chance to have two gays.
Mind you, most of the stuff I talk about between Boba and Fennec is a joke. Like,
no, I need my two gay disasters. Okay,
Joe. If Disney won't chance with a hetero relationship, what makes you think they're gonna chance with a gay relationship?
One can only hope. Okay. Like we need. I just don't. Just give me hope, okay?
Are you saying that Wild Hops
hoping in the wrong place? Huh?
I need Joe and Drash. Okay, I need Drash. Okay, I need that to be a thing.
Are you saying Wild Hops isn't happening, Naso?
I can't say that. It's a different thing. I'm talking about in Star Wars in general, because the only actual relationship we've got in Star Wars has been Kara from Disney. That's it.
Okay.
Also,
as far as like visual medium,
we got Kaz and Tora, but that was kind of pedophilia, so we're not going to talk about that.
Who?
Kaz and Tora.
What?
Who's that?
But Kaz
that's a friendship, not a relationship.
Kaz originally had a crush on Tora, but he was like 20 and she was 14, so that was kind of weird.
I'm pretty sure Kaz had. He's talking about Resistance, and I'm pretty sure Kaz had a crush on Sonara.
No.
That show.
No, it was definitely Tora. I wish it was.
No, it was Sonara. It was Sonara, dude. Even I saw it.
I remember when he was with Tora and they were flirting, and Tora said, I think you mistook our friendship for something else. I remember that scene because it made me literally like sink into my chair because I'm like, Kaz is 20, Tora is 14. This is way too weird. Like
it's been a while since I've watched Resistance because it was like boring as hell season.
Hell yeah,
I barely remember it.
Yeah, pretty much. Can we talk about Din and Grogu now?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, we're
There's
gonna do this.
else.
All right. So I love their reunion. I love the actual scene of them meeting. I love how Grogu just jumps onto him and hugs him. That melted my heart.
Yeah, that was cute.
That was very cute. I love how Grogu just wants to be with his dad, and I love how Din fucking catches Grogu like a football when their thing falls over. I think that was awesome.
That's to
But-
protect Disney's investment.
But I feel like their reunion after that was done so poorly that it kind of butchers the finale of season 2 for Mando. Because
Oh, it definitely
Goldman,
does.
I remember saying that they needed to make a powerful moment to like basically like warrant retconning it. So that he said that for a scene, Luke brings back Grogu, and Din says, "I thought he needed to be with his own kind," and Luke says, "No, Mandalorian. He was with his own kind." And then Grogu like hugs his leg or something. Like Din was his kind. That would have been such a powerful scene. I would have preferred that, honestly. That would have been more powerful in the finale. But that's not what they did. And I think that was very poor. And I felt like what they did, I thought their final scene was cute, but I didn't really like what they did with the show. I did not.
How
like
weird
it.
would it have been if Luke
okay.
had shown up during the finale, though?
Well, that would have been cool.
No.
Him
Now,
and Boba would like, can you help us? Yeah, sure.
at the end of at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian, so many people, including me, were asking, okay, where are things going to go now that Grogu is not going to be around, and they actually have to focus on Din Djarin, because before that, it was always about Grogu and all that. And it's like, okay, what are they going to do without Grogu? And now, at the beginning of season 3 Mandalorian, they don't even have to deal with that, because as they took a slice out of this
What are they going to say
show.
now? My mom, as a my mom wasn't even joking. Because she's, no offense to my mom, but she just kind of like just kind of was like, oh, what if like at the beginning of season 3, Grogu was just back, and he's like, oh, he deserves. Like Luke was like, oh, he was too attached to you. I couldn't train him, and they did exactly that. And I was like, Mom, that's cheesy. That's stupid. They can't do that. They did exactly that.
And that's what they did. And they even did it. And they even did it between seasons, so that
They did it.
Mandalorian season
They did.
1 and season 2, and then season 3, we don't even have a break. Grogu is still there at the beginning of season 3. There is.
I'm not going to be able to watch Mando season 2 the same way again. It's just going to be like I remember for the first time watching the Mando finale and Grogu leaving, and I thought,
they took a slice out of. They took a slice out of Book of Boba Fett specifically to fix this problem that they made for themselves by sending Grogu away.
Great character moment, and they ruined it.
Yeah.
No, Joe, I actually agree. I agree with you there, but in their eyes, it was a problem. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that pisses me off. They had a great thing, and they just ruined it. I remember at the end of, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Din and Grogu's goodbye, it was my favorite moment in Star Wars. Din taking off the helmet and proving how much he loved Grogu. It's just such a powerful scene. And I remember when the music was swelling and Grogu was like leaving in the elevator, I thought, is this the last time we're going to see Grogu for a while? And I thought, this is the last time. This is like the send-off for Grogu. This is like the end of an era. But no, he's just back now. It is going to be so abrupt just to see Din back with Grogu and just having a one-off line saying, man, I can't believe that Luke let you come back to me after you failed your training. That's not how you write. I'm getting more upset the more I'm thinking. I'm actually getting a little worked up right now, and I'm trying not to like pull like a Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers and be like overly angry. I'm actually getting like a little annoyed thinking about it right now. And I'm like,
should have died in Order 66 Part 2.
Be warned, if you go over the top angry, I am clipping it.
No, I'm actually getting very upset. Like the fact that they undo this amazing scene of Grogu, like the way that it's shot, it's like this is the last time we're going to see Grogu.
Yeah, we should have had him like come back to him as a teenager many years later.
I said for the longest time I wanted the last time the next time we see Grogu to be at the very end of Mando, like with the series finale.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. and Din is like, "Can I see the kid?" And Luke is like, "Follow me." And you see Grogu on like a thing meditating. He's like, "Hey, kid," and then Grogu looks up and he sees him, and the episode ends. But now they're just back. Like, the more I think about it, the more it pisses me off. The more like fuming I actually get that they just undo this moment, this important moment in Mando, and this important moment in Din's character arc and Grogu's character
You
arc.
sound like exactly like Geeks and Gamers right now. Just saying.
And I know I do, and I'm actually like annoyed that I sound like Jeremy, but it's like they completely undo this important moment that like really made Din and Grogu like the face of Star Wars and made them like the next Luke and the next like, and they just undo it. It really pisses me off, and I just, not in a way that I'm like, Dave Filoni, you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed that they took that character decision because it was such a bold move, and I pride the story group on taking bold moves and bold decisions. Like, that's why I love certain moments of like things like Clone Wars, because they take these bold directions, and that's why I love Mando, because it was like not something we've never seen before. But they really did drop the ball with this show, and they not only dropped the ball for its own respective show, but they dropped the ball for another show. They went and they just let me down so hard. And I honestly think that now, I think that Mando, like, I'm probably gonna like not like Mando as much now when I rewatch the show, because now I'm not gonna be like I've literally cried every single time I rewatch the Mando finale. Every time Din takes
For
off
season
that
2.
helmet, I am crying. Yes, in season 2. Every time Din takes off that helmet, I am crying because I'm like I remind myself, man, this is like the last time we've seen Grogu, and it's gonna be the last time for a while. Now, when I rewatch that scene, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. It's such a lame cop out, and I really hope that they do it right. But how are they gonna do it in season 3? Grogu's just gonna be bad, and it's gonna be such a weird juxtaposition.
Grogu is Disney's maker at this point, because they know how bad sequels flopped, or they know, and they're just in complete denial. So when Favreau and Dave Filoni brought the baby into the picture, and people oohing and awing over the baby, they're like, okay, this is our moneymaker. So they emotionally manipulate in season 2, making this is the last time you're gonna see the baby.
You know, I got most of the Grogu merch I got was after he left the show, and that's when he left most of the impact on me. When he left here, that's when I grew to love Grogu. That's when I made my account, and I was like, man, Grogu really did like make me who I am. Like it really did make me like the modern Star Wars fan I am now. But then they went and they undid it, and it really sucked. And I Mando just meant so much to me as a show and as a character. The two Mandos. Because Grogu is technically a Mando now, but it just doesn't sit right with me the way that they did it, and it really disappointed me. I really am. This is like the first time since Rise of Skywalker where I'm like actually disappointed, and I actually like. Is this how you guys feel every day whenever Disney releases something, and you're like, man, that was not good. This is the first time since we Skywalker where I felt like actually like talked down to.
You're kind of speaking like a robot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing that too.
I thought that was me.
To a degree, but I understand. I understand them.
No, I do know what Joe's talking about, though. I do see what he's speaking about.
However, Joe, I'm not sure that you're coming through anymore.
Joe?
Yeah.
I think he's having mic troubles.
Yeah,
because I can hear myself on his end sounding distorted.
Hello, Joe.
It sounds radios.
We're losing your communication here.
This is Control Tower.
Control Tower 3, Sue 75. Please respond. 275. I don't know what's up with your mic, Joe.
I just like gradually like descended into the underworld.
Give him a minute. He'll pop back in. But I do see what he's talking about though. Like he's like, is this how you guys feel?
Yeah.
Is this how you guys feel when this happens in like a Star Wars related product? And yeah, Joe, it is. This is how a lot of people felt with The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
This is how a lot of people felt with The Rise of Skywalker. This is how a lot of people felt with things like Distance and even like to a degree Rebels or something. This is how a lot of people felt about certain aspects. Padawan says, "Why does Joe sound like a smoker?" He had radio troubles, man.
Yep.
But yeah, that is how a lot of Star Wars fans. Sorry, so my mom was asking me for a drink. There is a lot of fans that feel this way about a certain piece of media in Disney Star Wars, or a lot of this is how a lot of expanded universe fans feel with Disney just up and throwing out their stories.
Yep.
I mean,
Again, I'm not trying to point fingers or anybody. I'm just saying this is kind of like anybody who's kind of getting anybody who's kind of getting disillusioned with how things are going with the Book of Boba Fett. This is kind of how it feels. I'm sure there are people who are disillusioned with Rogue One. Obviously, not everybody, but people who are disillusioned.
I enjoyed Rogue One.
I also enjoyed Rogue One, but I'm guessing there were some people that were disillusioned with The Force Awakens, stuff as far back as that. I mean, my point being is that like for some it's been the beginning. For others, we kind of had to wake up to it along the way.
right.
And
But
again,
do we just sort of say Star Wars is dead, or I mean,
no my view is this: Star Wars is only dead if you stop giving a shit. Like, there are stories in the EU that I absolutely do not like.
right.
Even though I've compiled mostly comics, there's certain comics that I would advise people to steer from because those stories suck. But but like my point being is like there are people that feel this way about a certain thing. And again, with me and with Disney Star Wars, one thing that's hitting me is at least as the way this episode of the Book of Boba Fett hit me, is that it feels like Star Wars has become a parody and satire of itself by this point.
Yeah, and there's too much like Marvel comedy.
Yeah, again, I'm not against comedy. I'm not against comedy, but I am against cheap comedy, and to some extent there is comedy in this. Again, this feels like something I would have enjoyed if I was a 7-year-old kid.
Right.
Like this. Let's say this is like one of the first. Like I've already seen the original trilogy. I've watched both seasons of The Mandalorian. I'm all caught. I'm like a 7-8-year-old kid, and I'm watching this thing, a Book of Boba Fett. This. Keep in mind, when you're a kid, you don't think about logical stuff normally.
Mm-hmm.
You're always like, oh, this is so fun. This is so cool. Wow. Like I'm sure there's like I'm sure there's like errors in the He-Man series that Nick could point out for us that he didn't really care to notice as a kid, but notice now.
You didn't know me as a kid.
That's oh, okay. Well,
I was a pain in the ass.
I think I was a pain in the ass too.
I'm still a pain in the ass.
Where is Joe, by the way?
Well, yes. My point is that not so talking about the average kid. Oh wait, it looks like he looks like he finally came back.
Oh, is he back?
But yeah, you're right that most kids you're right that most kids don't look at things logically and stuff. But in my case, yeah, I did. I was.
Oh
weird.
yeah, true enough. But I'm supposing to an average kid. When I was a kid, I really liked the CG animated show Beast Wars. There's a lot of
that.
And
there's a lot of dumb shit in there that doesn't make you.
Oh, you're talking about
no argument
Prime,
with
right?
that in general.
Beast Wars Transformers.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Prime.
No, Prime is a good series, by the way.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with comparing how I saw He-Man when I was a kid is that unlike now, where you can actually watch something going from episode 1 going forward, I just saw whatever was on TV.
Yes,
and,
that's exactly how it works.
And I did not see it in any coherent fashion.
That's the problem.
Well, again, it's not just TV in coherent fashion. I mean, like there are certain like when you're not in a cartoon, you're not questioning like deeper themes and ideas within the cartoon. You're saying, oh, this is a cool character. This is just a fun adventure. That's how I was a kid. Like I was an idiot. So like, you know, as usual, like I see a cool adventure show and I'm like, oh, this looks so cool. Down the line, you know, as you grow up, it was kind of corny when I was a kid, but it still kind of had a soul to it. This, it's corny and over the top and dumb, but it doesn't have that same heart and soul.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where did Joe go? I thought he got added back in.
I thought he did too.
Yeah, he also he disappeared right after I added him back in again. I think he's having problems.
He's got to be having problems because I'm checking Culture Cove.
I'm thinking that he broke something when he got when he got so upset and probably hit something.
He rage quit.
Yeah.
It was like a playing Call of Duty that just shot, and then he had to heat away, or he was gonna break his keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like yeah, like this series, like it felt like a meh type of experiment.
Yeah.
And some like, again, something I'm now because I obviously you guys picked up on it too. It seemed like after flashbacks were they didn't know anything to do with Boba Fett anymore.
Hi guys, I'm back.
He's back.
Yeah. So I told you guys before the stream that I was going to ask a question. At the beginning of this episode, tell me, what resources did Boba Fett actually have?
He had the biker gang and
he had the mods, 2 bounty hunters,
Yep.
and 2 Gamorreans.
And the Rancor.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Rancor.
Yep.
I understand him not
And-
using Slave 1 or the fighter, because obviously they had the shields, so you couldn't use
Oh,
blaster
yeah,
fire
but-
for the cannons.
He's
That made
getting
sense.
ready to fight. If he's getting ready to fight a war with the criminal syndicate, don't you think you need more than say 7 or 8 people on your side?
Well, that's why
Yeah.
they needed the. That's why
Yeah,
they
so
needed.
to answer your question, other than his personal entourage that he made himself of a bunch of random people, to again an assassin, bounty hunters, 2 of Jopped over guards, and the 6 and the Rancor
And
didn't
He had
have
3 skilled
anything.
fighters, 4 mods, and 2 guards.
yeah,
But
and
again,
you're right Joe, you're right that's why he needed the people from Freetown. But here's my problem. He needed them. He actually said, if we don't get this, we're doomed. Which means that all of this hung on Mando, right?
Yeah.
I thought that Boba Fett was supposed to be the one who was competent, not just going, "Can you save my ass, Mando?"
Yeah. I feel like they should have if the point was to make Boba an experience, that should have been at the forefront to show that Boba wasn't inexperienced. Because I thought that was actually the direction they were going in. I thought the show was going to end with Boba leaving and living a different life. Maybe like he would be going with Mando to free Mandalore, and Fennec would become the crime lord or the lordess. And because she was obviously a little more experienced than he was. So I thought they were going in the direction of Boba doesn't belong as being a crime lord. I thought that was the direction they were going in. But
that would have made more
Fennec doesn't belong in there. Fennec doesn't belong there any more than Boba does, as we can see from the fireside discussion. Both of them are the people who are hired to do things.
Yeah.
So if one isn't cut out for it, the other shouldn't be either.
And he's not even like a real crime lord would never really go out on the battlefield like he did. Like they usually be in the back.
There's a possibility.
Well, here's the thing. He's supposed to be a more out in the open crime lord. He should, if he's going to do that, though, he should be fully protected, fully armored, king off his helmet in the middle of broad, like he did at the beginning of the damn series.
He should have his army at his back,
not an entourage, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Boba should have had. I understand that he didn't have an army, but I feel like that should have been made the point. I feel like they should have brought that as the focus, as Boba is not experienced because he doesn't have all of the arsenal that Jabba had. That should have been the forefront. That should have been the focus.
Sorry, making the point about how much money he had. The fact that he hasn't had to pay for anything. Why didn't he reach out with his treasury to all of those bounty hunters that he knew and gone, "Hey guys, you know what? I got money."
Singh, boss. Do you guys want? I got a job.
Singh is dead.
Oh, that Beckett pushed, but yeah, no, like he could have reached out to. He could have reached out to Bosk, reached out to any particular group, and he did.
Keldor Jedi thought that Krait's Claw was going to be reunited, like Latsrazi and Heisinger and Embo, and
those guys.
Bosk, obviously, that would have been cool seeing them back.
If he brought back a lot of his old friends and Cad oh, so you're with them now, huh?
Yeah. It would not have made. It doesn't make sense that when Fennec says credits come by muscle, you know where to look. That he reaches out to one person. Why not reach out to Bosk? Why not reach out to Dengar? Why not reach out to?
Well, isn't Dengar like
Heisinger,
modified his body?
Embo,
and you see,
like Sugi, like all of those people.
The reason why he didn't, the reason why he didn't is because they had to take episode 5 and 6 and do other shit that had nothing to do with Book of Boba Fett.
That's annoying.
Yep.
No, those would have been cameos that made sense, like Bosk and Dengar and Lots and Heisinger. Those would have been cameos that made sense. Those would have. Made sense.
Again, when I first heard of the Book of Boba Fett, Boba was forming like a new bounty hunter in Tatooine, and there was going to be on the way he did things.
Yeah.
But that's not what transpired. I did make a funny joke when at the end of the episode. Everybody's like bowing to him and showing respect. Like he offers the arm in return. I made a joke. Everybody's going, "Don Fett, Don Fett, Don
Yeah.
Fett. I brought you the fresh Maluran."
I really thought it was funny though how Boba like destroys half the city with the Rancor and the town is just happy. It's that
We did it, Patrick. We saved the city.
It's that SpongeBob meme. The Patrick, we did it. We saved the city. And like
Somebody should have put Fennec. Somebody should have put Fennec and Boba in them.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Grant did that. He made a joke about how it was like Boba like ruined the town, but I guess they're gonna rebuild it. But that was stupid. I thought that I'm like, it's weird to me how like the kids were running up to him. That was cute, but it was like, are you guys like not mad that Boba Fett like ruined your town and like destroyed like 8 buildings? Probably more than that. But yeah, I really hope season 2 ups the ante. And just to prove that it's possible to make a good fucking show, I made a list during my calculus class. Mind you, I should have been paying attention to calculus. I made a list of things that could work in season 2 for Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett killing the Pikes and dissolving them challenged the underworld, and because they're afraid that Boba will usurp them, the Hutts, Black Sun, and Crimson Dawn unite to kill Boba Fett because they're afraid that he will want to overthrow them. So the 3 leaders, Prince Zizor, Kira, and the twins of Nal Hutta, they unite to kill Boba Fett, and they said Cad Bane, who's still alive, and Bosk after Boba to kill him, but Bosk obviously wants to join Boba, so he betrays the Hutts. And you can have Mos Espa actually being organized, and Boba actually organizes his empire. Drash can be the representative of Mos Espa, and Joe can be the representative of Mos Pelgo. And Cobb Vanth can be
Freetown.
Freetown, okay. And Cobb Vanth can be promoted to the sheriff of all of Tatooine. That would actually be cool. And the Major Domo could now be ruling over the parts that the Trandoshans and the Aqualish and the Clasuinians took over, because that would make sense that he promoted him. And Bosk and Chrysanthemum can have a rivalry. That would be a really cool plot point. And it would be cool to see a Trandoshan and a Wookiee actually getting along for once. And I think that that they need to really exemplify that Boba doesn't need his armor to be Boba Fett. I feel like that's where they were going, but it wasn't utilized that well, in my opinion. And I feel like the show they need to do like a Black Panther or Lion King style climax where Bane presumably kills Boba and says that Boba Fett's dead and you all need to surrender now. And they don't know what to do, and Boba comes back without his armor, proving that he doesn't need to have the armor in order to be a good leader, and he leads everyone, like Bosk and Cobb Vanth and Fennec and Drash, and he leads all of them in a battle, and he finally defeats Bane, not by killing him, but by saying, I don't need to prove myself to you, and he throws down his gaffy stick, and Bane goes to kill him, but Fennec can do it, because Fennec doesn't have morals. That would be a very good season. The potential for a Boba Fett show is all there, but they didn't utilize it well. And now that I'm saying it out loud, that actually doesn't sound that good, but I don't know. I did my best.
Yep. Take a look at and Joe, take a look at the highlighted comment.
I saw that already.
I'm becoming Jeremy.
It's also interesting to see that Joe and Ron Coda haven't fight each other over something.
Well, I
don't
sent
hate
him a
Ron.
dead rat yet.
I blocked him really as a joke, and then I just forgot to undo it.
Well, because Social Duck told you not to unblock me. So.
Why did you keep sending dead animals to Joe?
Guys, I'm probably gonna head out because I have school tomorrow. But this was fun. I liked getting over this show.
Yeah,
I now realize that it's cool to be negative for once.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with
it was always cool to be negative.
It's just not cool. It's not cool to be negative at other people about it. It's fine to be negative about the material. It's just don't attack the people.
If you liked Book of Boba Fett, fuck you.
I attack
You
the
are a fake
writers.
fan. You don't deserve
I
stars.
was talking about
from
fans.
No,
I mean, you probably talk about Pablo.
Don't clip that and make it look like I hate Book of Boba Fett fans. Because I still gave the show a chance. I still think the show had potential. It just wasn't executed well. But that's it. I have nothing left to say. I've said all I wanted. So have a good night, everybody.
Okay.
It was good talking.
Yep, you too.
Good night.
Have a good night, you beautiful bastards.
You should call me a bastard.
Well, yeah.
He called you a beautiful bastard. He called all of us a beautiful bastard. That was the point.
So yeah, that was that was the person that I really expected to be positive overall, and holy crap!
Yeah, that's that's why it surprised me. Joe's usually the most positive person when it comes to especially when it comes to Disney Star Wars content. And the fact that he actually doesn't really like this finale speaks volumes of how bad it is. Again, this finale was so it made me I put a tweet out today saying I'm looking at everything Disney Star Wars from this point on as parody. I'm just gonna turn my brain off and see what happens.
Oh.
I mean,
Actually, I got a question for you guys. I've seen what he rated this episode out of 10 on Twitter. Based on what he just said, what do you think the rating is?
What do you mean?
I'm assuming a 4
6 out of 10
or a 3.
What? Joe rates it?
Yeah.
Based on what he was just saying.
7 out of 10. Didn't he say 7 out of 10?
6 out of 10.
No, he gave it a 5.
Oh.
And I'm sorry, if you have as much against it as he was just ranting, I don't see how you gave it average, which is what 5 out of 10 is.
Yeah, 5 out of 10 is average. He I think he was being generous.
5 out of 10
giving it No, he was being generous because
my friend gave it a 3 out of 10 here on Discord.
Yeah. So what would you rate this episode, this finale, out of all of them? Where would it be for you?
Somewhere between a 2 or a 3. I need to rewatch the first episode to see how I put it based on that. But first episode was a 2. This is close.
Oh, I thought you hated the what was it, 6 and 5 the most.
No, first episode was the worst of everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But number 5 was pretty dang bad. 6 I didn't hate. The thing about 5 and 6 is that neither of them, whether you think they're good or not.
Also, wasn't Commander Cody supposed to come, or
he was, but I don't think
he was able to make it. That's all.
Hmm.
No, it's called real life obligations.
What are those?
But for 5 and 6, whether they were good or not, my standpoint is that those episodes, neither one of them, really should have been part of this show.
They don't fit the series, is what you said.
Yeah. 5 was just a train wreck, and I made a video showing exactly why I thought that.
Yeah, no, I saw video. And while I agree with a lot of your points, I looked at it as just an average episode of The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. Which says very little good about Mandalorian.
Yeah, no. If I take this finale seriously, then it's between a 2 and a 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
If I don't take it seriously and just see it as a goofy, over-the-top satire, fun bullshit, then it's a 7. Keep in mind, this is not taking it serious. It's like watching it like it's a parody of something.
Right.
Then it's a 7. But if I again taking it seriously, it's like between a 2 and a 3. 3 if I'm being like generous or.
So, do we have much more to talk about on it? Because I think I'm probably going to end the stream pretty soon.
Yeah, I don't have any more to say about it. It is what it is. It's done. Move on.
I've got more to say about it, but I've actually got a video that I'm going to be writing and making to do that.
Right.
Okay.
Until the Kenobi show, we'll see each other again.
Yeah.
Please please use highlights of our stream in the video if you can.
Possibly. I'm more intending to use highlights of my live reaction in the video.
Oh, okay. I'm curious as to what that's like.
Myself.
I'm curious as to what that's like. I'm curious.
We're gonna see your face? I thought we.
No, it's just my voice.
Oh, okay.
But you get to hear me yelling at the TV.
Oh,
nice.
Oh boy.
all right.
It's kind of like all of those people who make these reactions going, "Oh my god!" Yeah, this is the other side of it. Of what the fuck are you doing? Shoot him! Shoot her! Kill him! Shoot him dead! Shoot him! That sort of thing.
Yeah, I get you.
All right. Well, I gotta go.
Yep.
Nice talking to you guys.
Later, Brett.
Bye, guys.
Yep.
Later, CT. Later, Net.
Oh,
Later.
wait. Nazo, are you going to be doing anything else tonight? Or
I'm gonna be waiting for my phone to charge up before I can even think about the concept of watching you stream, bro. It's at like 76 right now. I'm gonna give it time to charge.
I'll send a message. I'll DM you in a half an hour then.
My dad still has to watch the finale, so.
Okay.
Get yourself a portable battery, Natsa.
If I can afford that crap, yeah. Yeah, it's net. Well, my dad says hello.
Hello, but you can get cheap one for like $5.
Well, I'll see if I can find one like one of those on the go batteries. All right.
Yeah.
I'll see you later, boys.
I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.